Shalom, brother and sister, truth seekers. So the 21st today, we had a few people collecting data around the world, and I think things are getting really close. But people are telling me they think they're still seeing the pre-equinox curve or reading on their sundials, and when I look at their data, it does look like there might be a slight. We might not quite be there yet. So let's. You can find live updates at this Facebook group, or if you check the description below this video, it will there will be a link for a shared Dropbox folder. It will take you to this directory. You can dial down by the year, the month, and the day. And we're going to look at data from South Africa. So there were two truth seekers. And this one was kind of a tricky one. I guess it. I'm hoping she's going to have a chance to collect data tomorrow as well. Unfortunately, I think there was a note on one of these pictures that said she was dealing with some clouds and some rain, so maybe she didn't get as big a spread of data as she wanted to. I think she got about 8.5 hours of data. And so it does look pretty straight, but that unfortunately can happen. I've seen it happen definitely with 8 hours of data, and 8.5 hours of data isn't much more. So unfortunately, what you can end up seeing is what appears to be a straight line for like the 2 to 3 days, like straddling the equinox event. I've seen it multiple times before. But another unfortunate thing is the gnomon here looks like it's the circular head of a nail instead of the tip of the nail. So the shadow bouncing off of different points of that nail head it can cause this whole pattern from start to finish to shift almost as much as half the diameter of this thing, which can make all the difference in the world and seeing what's really going on. It's just the shape of the circle. Like if you can imagine the sun rising in the east when it's shining this way, like you're going to see the shadow bouncing off of the side of this nail. And at midday, like when the shadow's above, you're going to see the shadow bouncing off of this face of the nail. So you're like 90-degree difference on the point that's actually casting the shadow. And so it's, if at all possible, I suggested, and if anyone else is doing it this way, one thing you might want to try and do is just drive the nail all the way through the board, and then flip the board upside down, and then you can use the sharp tip on the other side. Or if you want to use this side because it's white and maybe the other side's not white, then drive the nail from the other side so the tip comes up on this side and you have a nice sharp tip for the gnomon. So this yeah, unfortunately, this one is just it, it is what it is. But the both of these are coming from South Africa. So here, this is Wendy, and she's been getting 10 hours of data every day for like the past 3 or 4 days. She's been really going after it. She is a seasoned sundialer, um, so I guess the pink marks were her marks from today. And if you look, it looks like these midday points are ever so slightly lifting off of the line. And she thought she was still seeing a pre-equinox curve, so it's pretty close. Uh, but perhaps not quite there yet. She didn't think it was. When you look at it, they're not like right on the line. So I would say there's definitely the potential things could get perfectly straight on the next day for her. I tried to collect data today, but I had clouds in the morning, unfortunately, so I wasn't able to do the straight line. But I did try a different method, which is going to take time to do, but I wanted to mention it so you can, I think it'd be useful for other people to try and do things like this too. But there are a couple things going on here, and essentially, um, I'm trying to track the sun's position with respect to the stars themselves, and specifically with respect to the center line of heaven itself, the celestial equator. And so what I'm doing is I'm creating a mount, a location that I mount my camera that is like very sturdy and will not move like all year. And then I just kind of drop my camera into this mount and I snap a picture of the sky. This is what it looks like when my camera looking up at the sky, and it can see this patch of sky up here. And I want to take several pictures during the day, and you'll see the sun progress in this view from left to right. I only took one picture today, but the idea is you'll see the sun tracing this path across the sky. And then I'm planning to take pictures at night too of Orion's belt coasting across the sky, because Orion's belt, the top star of Orion's belt, is very near to the celestial equator. So I want to be able to do some comparisons against the stars, and then also compare where the sun's position is next year when we see that straight line. So we're not just, because there's something weird that I still don't understand that's going on with the straight line phenomenon in September. It doesn't seem to match any count that I have heard anyone come up with. Like, it's just doing something funky, and I can't explain it. And so I did this experiment 4 or 5 years ago. We moved a lot, and we've just finally kind of gotten a little more settled now, and I've been on the lookout for a place I can mount my camera to a place that won't move all year, and take some of these pictures and test some of these things. But just to show you what I did, so maybe you can have some ideas to do yourself. Two things here I can show you and suggest. This I don't prefer to do, but I'm just gonna give it a shot. I built this is my barn. It's like 2 stories up. I got a hayloft on the other side of that wall, and I got these eaves I can kind of reach through, and I made this shelf that it's still under the roof, but it's got a couple boards. This is looking through the eave down that shelf, and you can see the sun shining is right here. And I just kind of slide my camera and I drop it and I slide it here, and this board holds it steady in that corner. So I've got a corner that I just slide my camera right down and into, and I hold it tight there, and it just looks up at the sky and it snaps that picture. And then the next day I can just put it back in that same exact position and snap another picture. And half a year later, a year, whatever, I can keep snapping pictures like that. But this is wood, and so things can happen with wood, like in warm temperatures, cold temperatures, things can expand. This is a barn, like if I load it down with a bunch of hay bales, like it can potentially make the whole thing start to settle, post settle, and things move. So I'm not looking at this one as gospel, but I wanted to at least try and do something to start, because I think it is a potential useful piece of information for us to know the sun's position against the backdrop of the stars. But this is one thing I'm going to be trying it just to give you an idea of what things look like. So this is the camera looking up at the sun from that mount position. And then this is what it looks like with a solar filter. And just to show you, these are my solar filter. You can pick these up at like a Tractor Supply or Lowe's. I forget which one, but I think they're welding plates is what they're called. And they make different shades. I think these are both 10 shades. So a 10 and a 10, and I tape them together, so total it's like 20. And when you do that and you put it on the front of your camera, you'll see that disk of the sun. And I've got older channel videos on my YouTube channel showing this, but this is going to be useful, because when I plot out the path of the celestial Orion's belt, and I figure where the celestial equator is, and I get a couple more pictures of the sun, you're going to see like a dot here and a dot here, and I'm going to overlay the photos, and you're going to see the path of the sun. You're going to actually see the disk of the sun with proximity to different stars coasting across the sky. And so I'm looking forward to trying to do that this year. But really, the most ideal thing to do is kind of what I'm also trying to do here. And that is to find a very massive rock or like some massive piece of concrete or something that is not going to move. And what I'm doing here is I'm just like trying to chip away a slot that I can put my camera. I didn't quite finish it today, but I think my kids love chopping away at rocks, so I'm going to give them a chisel and say, go to town. But the idea is find, something that's not going to move. And even this rock, as big as it is, like if I kick it, it moves. So I'm not totally happy with this either. It was hard to move it, but it's not impossible to move it. So I mean, if I were to do it in my perfect world, I would love to find like a rock that is very, very stationary and doesn't move. Then I would chip a little slot in it that I can put a camera on in a consistent position where it won't move, and I can snap those pictures any time of year. And yeah, know that I'm looking at the sun from a mount position that is definitely not moving. So that's just something I'm gonna be working on. I'd love to see someone else try it one day, but yeah, I'm gonna be trying that. I'll compare. So I did get a picture of. Unfortunately, it has been a drought here in West Virginia, like all summer, like no rain. It's amazing. No clouds all summer long, and now finally the week of all this equinox stuff, it's it's the latter rains are rolling in. So I've got clouds, and I don't know if I'm going to get any more sunshine tomorrow. But I'm going to coordinate with other people, and see if people are getting the straight line tomorrow. Like, I'll still know this picture that I snapped is like within one day or two, possibly, of the equinox, and it'll still be useful to, I think, to compare its position in a year from now or half a year. So stay tuned to hear more about that. But there was one more truth seeker in Texas who was using an armillary, and this was the Prophecy Vine YouTube channel. And he has a very sophisticated looking armillary. And to be honest, I'm a little leery of armillaries, but this gentleman, you should check out this video. He was doing a very diligent job, making sure things were level, making sure things were zeroed in at the right angle and all this stuff. I mean, so if you're going to use an armillary, you really need to be as precise as you can, and he does a really good example of how precise to be. And I like that this is metal and not wood, because like I said before, wood can shrink and expand at different temperatures if it gets wet and all this stuff. So, but anyway, he thought he was not quite seeing the equinox yet. So I guess this shadow, kind of, you can see the thickness of it. It's not a fine wire, but it looks like a kind of a thick rod that's casting the shadow. Well, you can see how thick it is here. So that's how thick it is here, and it's not quite bisected by this line yet. So he was, he was not thinking he was seeing the equinox today. Maybe tomorrow, but yeah, I guess that's all we got for now. Hopefully, some people get some sunshine tomorrow, and maybe we'll start to see a few people confirming the straight line with hopefully, I just enough data and tools precisely calibrated, sharp gnomons, all this stuff, or the tall gnomon. I love that. Like that other sister in South Africa, I hope she tries her tall gnomon again. But anyway, stay tuned and let me know. Please feel free to let me know if you have any data you'd like to add to these summaries. And I guess in another day or two, we'll kind of do a final summary and talk through things. But feel free to email me at avoiceoftruthandlove@gmail.com, or jump on the Facebook group and share your pictures directly. If you do that, please also send me a private message on Facebook, because sometimes things can get washed away in all the other posts. So shalom, and may Abba bless you as you continually seek out his truths in love with a pure heart.